You have one new message. Translating. Disney and Pixar's Hoppers is now available on Disney+.
You could say that again.
Critics are calling it Pixar's funniest movie ever and a wildly entertaining ride. Blizzard Potato. It's certified fresh and verified hot.
Now we party.
This is incredible!
Wow, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers, now available on Disney+. Rated PG.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs, so you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Nino's finding a familiar touch in a Toy Story, and we're meeting a lesbian space princess. I'm Van Connor.
And I'm Adam Ball, and this is Off Screen, your 7-day guide to everything movies.
Boom! Groovy.
Hello, and welcome back to Off Screen then. As always, we are going to look at some new movies this week, including the hyped-up Toy Story 5, which everyone is talking about at the moment. We'll see what Van thought of that one shortly. But first, as we always do, let's dive into this week's top 10 UK and Ireland box office. So, it's looking a bit different today, Van, because I've only got 5.
But you've only got 5. I've got 10 in front of me to the 15th of June. Yeah. You've only got 5.
That's bizarre. Yes.
Well,
For some reason.
I've got the full list, so I can work through them at least.
You start.
And of course, the one that I haven't seen is still in there, and it's at number 9. I'll get to it. I'll explain the story on that one in a little while. Number 10, there was the Sheep Detectives. Have you got 5-1? Is that how it's going for you?
It's now just refreshed, and I've now got 10-1, which is helpful.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, okay. God bless the FDA. They do love to keep us informed. Thank you, Film Distributors Association. You keep your records as well as you do conduct your business. So, start us off then, my man.
At number 10, it's a movie on my list, but I still haven't seen it, The Sheep Detectives. 6 weeks that's been out now. I mean, that's sitting on 9.5 million.
Yeah, and deservedly so. I bloody love this film, and I really want to see it again. Kind of film that your son is going to love, that my nephew was going to love. I don't think he's seen it. And that, to be fair, his grandmother will love, that I love, that his mother will love. It's kind of the perfect all-round, family crowd-pleasing movie. And it's got something so twee and quintessentially British about it. Because, it's small British village town, murder, talking sheep, solving that murder, and a murderous row of talent doing the voices of said sheep, and also, your red herring suspects. I had a great time with it, really did. It's on the way out of the top 10 now. I'd imagine it'll be gone next week, to be fair, because next week is it'd definitely be gone by next week because too many heavy hitters coming in now.
That'll be 7 weeks then, so it'll be surely going to streaming or something soon.
I don't know if it'd be streamed. It's Sony, so Sony don't have their own streamer for one thing. If it's going to go anywhere, that means it'll go to Netflix. But it's Sony. But yeah, I think it'll do gangbusters when it's on home platforms, to be fair.
Number 9 this week is The Devil Wears Prada 2. That's been out 7 weeks. 34 million quid almost.
Right, I nearly went and saw it the other day. I had a couple of hours to kill before I had this thing at the Makerspace in Milton Keynes. I thought, do I just go to the Odeon and see Devil Wears Prada before I go to the Makerspace? I got an hour or so to kill. And I thought, it'd be out of the box office top 10 by then, surely. Why bother? And then, of course, it's still in there. Jesus.
Oh no, it's going to be there now for another 10 weeks just to get on your nerves.
Just to mess with me, they're going to keep it in the top 10 now. But I he's got his fans. I'm not one of them because I haven't seen it yet, as a few critics didn't, because we're not influencers. So it's just the audience you want for a movie that runs on the message of journalism is to be respected and the influencers are the devil. Let's just call it irony.
Moving on, I'm sure you've seen number 8, haven't you? Because you're a massive fan. BTS World Live Tour.
BTS World Tour Arirang in Busan live viewing (concert) close parentheses. I'll be honest with you, I could not name a single member of BTS.
Neither can I.
couldn't. I could name all 5 members. I could have 5 members of One Direction for you. Absolutely. I could name all the members of Boyzone for you. I could probably even remember most of the names of most of the guys from the Backstreet Boys, right? Could not tell you a single person who's in BTS. And there seems to be about 17, 18 of them. Like, I don't know. Like, there seems to be a small mob in that.
There is a lot of them, and you're not going to know any of their names unless you're under 15. I think, if I'm honest.
Well, yeah, to be fair. Right, so number 7 then.
Yeah, Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. 4 weeks that's been out now, and that's just under 15 million quid.
It's a Star Wars movie. I mean, all right, it's a Star Wars movie in 2026, so you've got to adjust for cultural inflation there. Star Wars just simply isn't as special as it used to be, which is sad. Because, there was a time when Star Wars was the definitive property, and that was the brand. And it's just a shame that's not the case. But I like The Mandalorian and Grogu very much. And now that we're using video, I can actually introduce like little props like the Grogu and things. Should have thought of that in advance. Next time. But I think the chief complaint made against Mandalorian and Grogu is that it just feels like, just a couple episodes of the TV show stuck together. Like, no, I think you mean it's a couple episodes of a TV show that was made to a cinematic standard that has now been released in the cinema. And, funnily enough, do you remember last week there was a film, I think it was at number 2, and it was The Last Circus, or The Amazing Circus, The Last Act. Do you remember?
Yes.
Right. I said it hadn't been press shown, didn't get a chance to. I did get the chance to watch it this week and discover that it is I think it's a 2-part finale to an animated TV series that I had never heard of. And I was like, okay. And the experience of that versus Mandalorian and Grogu could not have been more different. In the you can very much watch Mandalorian and Grogu without ever having seen the series. The concept's pretty self-explanatory. It's not picking up off of a story arc from the show. There were characters in there that I'd never seen. My friend knew them and was geeking out, and it didn't ruin my enjoyment at all. Whereas I watched that Amazing Circus Last Act thing, I'm like, I have no idea what any of this is. You know what I mean? So, kind of check your privilege on that one. Enjoy the, television series made to a cinematic standard that's now gotten a cinematic spin-off in IMAX, no less. And, stop whining about it. It's a movie about space wizards intended for children. Grow up.
Yeah, I agree. 7, that was Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. And number 6, now we're using video, I can give you a clue for number 6, can't I? Number 6...
We'll find a way to CG the hat on you later.
It is right. Michael, 9 weeks, and it's got over 50 million quid now.
It has. It's also now on digital as of this past week. And wow. I didn't know until I was going to, whatever the hell movie it was I saw. Oh, no, it was Toy Story. I went to see Toy Story on Sunday, and I was at Leicester Square Tube Station on the Ascot, and it was just plastered in digital displays for Michael, now on digital. Although, can we just address something with this one? They keep saying the most successful musical biopic of all time. Like, no, it's not. Because I can factually tell you it's not made as much money as Bohemian Rhapsody. And also, if we drop the music from that, we just go with biopic. Oppenheimer made a bit more as well. I think you'll find Oppenheimer top to bill. So, I appreciate the marketing department needs something to do, but let's not start lying, eh? That's kind of got Michael in trouble in the first place. Well, I mean, not exactly lying, actually. It was lying about what got him in trouble that got him into further trouble. But anyway,
this is getting complicated. My head's spinning.
It's fine. That's what his lawyers said. Anyway,
probably
right.
true.
Yeah.
So yes, he's at 6
fine.
At number.
It's fine.
Oh, sorry, you want to?
It's fine.
I want to see it.
Yeah, it's a terrible movie. It's just like, why am I watching the dressed-up cosplay Wikipedia panto version of this that really looks like it was made for a straight Netflix release? And you're telling me this is a cultural moment. It ain't a cultural moment at all. But people love MJ, so go on.
I'm sure I will love it because I just want the music. Pretty much that's all I want from it. Just the music. At number 5, Masters of the Universe. That's been out for 3 weeks now, and that's made 4.2 million.
Which is, it's good. It's just too silly. And the weirdest thing is when it's not being silly in the first 25 minutes, it's an infinitely better movie. And you'd really want to watch that movie. Like, I really, really want to watch something that's tonally closer to the first 25 minutes of this. And you can make the same comparison case with this actual director's previous film, which weirdly was the best of the Transformers movies, in which they did the same thing of starting it off with an on Cybertron prologue that was infinitely more interesting than the movie you were then going to watch, except in that case, the actual movie was again better than this one. The characters all work. The story is perfectly fine. This just does not need the wink, wink, nudge, nudge meta silliness of it. That feels a bit too close to Barbie or the Lego Movie, rather than Master of the Universe and He-Man, which is a shame.
I work with a guy who went to see it, and he thought it was a really good movie, which surprised me because he's 52.
Well, I have a mate of mine messaged me in the week. My friend Joe DM'd me in the week, and I'd seen his Instagram story. He'd been to see it and had a great time, and he DM'd me and he said, "Wow, you really didn't sell me very well on Master of the Universe. That was great. You really undersold that." And I went, "Well, yeah, because it didn't rock my world. That's why I didn't sell it harder, because I thought it was kind of a basic bitch movie. It just is what it is. I mean, different strokes for different folks. Your mileage may vary."
Exactly that, yes. It's all subjective, Van. It's all subjective. Right, so that's at number 5. At number 4, Backrooms. That's been out for 3 weeks now. 10.7 million quid.
Amazing calling card of a movie from a first-time director. As an actual movie, not that good. I mean, performances, fine. Production, very good. Yeah, performances, very, very good. What it doesn't have is anything close to a half-decent or engaging story. And call me old-fashioned, but I kind of like a movie to tell me a story, like a self-contained story, not this, oh, we'll leave it dangling, and then when all the dweebs have forked out to see this for a 6th time, we'll get a sequel greenlit, and we'll actually bother explaining some stuff. And since we've obviously not bothered to put too much thought into it, we can just pull it out our ass next time. And that's basically what you feel with Backrooms.
And number 3 this week is Scary Movie. That's been out for 2 weeks now. 7.2 million quid that's sitting on.
Which I had fun with. I did have fun with. I will admit, because there's news this week. I don't know if you've seen this news. We're getting an Austin Powers 4. That's apparently that's going to happen.
No, I didn't know that.
Now, I actually think, based on Scary Movie and what they've done with it this time around, that's actually quite a terrible idea. Because I don't want Austin Powers to do what Scary Movie has done, which is crowbar in a bunch of jokes about woke, about trans, about bathrooms, about things like that. Where it feels really passionate, this whole, nothing is cancelled, kind of a thing. Don't do that with Austin Powers, because Scary Movie conclusively proves that doesn't work. It also is a movie surprisingly devoid of jokes. I had a good time with it. I had some fun, I had some laughs, kind of thing. But I had laughs with the characters and the Scary Movie mythology. Whenever they were doing references to other movies, the sketches, the skits, the thing is they didn't have jokes in them. The Terrifier 3 one really does not have a punchline. And I did think, actually, the funniest joke in the entire movie happens within the first 2 minutes. And it's just when 2 of the characters are having a conversation and it's revealed that they work at the Final Destination theme park, where people keep dying in horrible ways. You're like, that actually works as a gag. Because if there was a Final Destination theme park and it kept having accidents, that would make sense. That's funny. Terrifier 3, yeah, gag. There's no gag. But not very good, sorry. But I liked it. I understand why other critics didn't. I think it might be an age thing. I think it might be you had to be there and be a certain age at a specific time to really enjoy a Scary Movie. I would imagine this horrifies Gen Z. But in which case, it's probably doing what it set out to do.
And number 2 this week is Obsession. That's been out for 5 weeks. That's made 13.5 million quid.
I love her. I just love Indy Navarrete in this movie. She's so good in this. And I really want to see it a second time, because I keep seeing the clips and people keep talking about it, and I really loved the movie, full stop. Can't wait to see it a second time. It's just really good fun. It's nasty, but at the same time it's got quite a deep point to it. Yeah, definitely check this one out. I was a big fan. Curry Barker did an incredible job on this.
And at number 1, anybody could have kind of predicted what was going to be number 1 this week. It is, of course, Disclosure Day, the new Steven Spielberg. 2 weeks, 5.5 million.
I love that you call him Spielberg.
Spiel.
Spiel. Spiel. Oh, give me your spiel. Oh, he's doing the spiel again. Spielberg. And actually, that is kind of a brilliant Freudian slip, because you kind of feel that through Disclosure. This just feels like Steve Spiel again. This is Steve doing the old spiel. It's Spielberg. And, really well made. Really, it's kind of like Backrooms, actually, in that it's a well-made film. It's a well-acted film. Did I care about anything particularly at any point? No, because it just wasn't interesting. I've seen Spielberg, in this case, do his spiel a lot better.
I'm not going to live this down now, am I?
No, it's actually a really, really good one, and I'm going to use it forever. Thank you.
Good. All right. At least I'm useful for something. But yeah, I mean, I think because it's Spielberg, everyone's put this kind of number on it and said it's going to be this good, it's going to be big. I suppose it heightens what you expect, and therefore, if you go in and it's not quite what you expect, you're going to say what you said.
They had subverted expectation with this by hiding just about everything from the marketing. So you really don't know what the movie's about until you all you know is it's about aliens. That's the only thing they gave you in the trailer, was that this had something to do with aliens. Having watched the film, I'll be honest, I expected more. I kind of expected more than a crap X-Files episode in 2026. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you know how I know that what you're saying is correct? Because my friend, in fact, you know him, Johnny, he was messaging me a couple of weeks ago. I've booked tickets, going to go and see Disclosure Day, new Steven Spielberg. It's going to be amazing. He went to see it last weekend. I've spoken to him probably 20 times since then. He hasn't mentioned it once.
That says a lot about a Spielberg movie, doesn't it? Like, I mean, how often do you... I talk about Hook once a week minimum, and I haven't seen Hook in ages. You know what I mean? Like, that's the power of Steve, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep, he's lacking the spiel.
Lacking the spiel. Well, the spiel has worn thin.
Well, that is the UK and Ireland current top 10. We're going to move on. Stay right where you are, because we're going to look at Familiar Touch. We're going to look at Familiar Touch and Nino next to see what Van thinks. So stay right where you are.
Study
and play
come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get
the best
of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Every act of change begins with a neighbor, with someone saying,
"We take care of each other here."
In food banks and food pantries, neighbors pack fresh food and dignity into every box, moving food from farms to families through Feeding America's nationwide network. So when that box reaches a home, it carries more than food. It carries a promise that together we can end hunger. Feeding America, led by neighbors. Give now to end hunger at feedingamerica.org.
Hello and welcome back to Off Screen then. We are going to dive straight into two more new movies. We've got Nino in a second, but we're going to tone things down now. We've got a drama called Familiar Touch, which, if I'm honest, Van, sounds like a bit of a boring name.
Does a bit, doesn't it? And don't get me wrong, it's not the most exciting film in the universe, and I didn't know much about it going in. I knew it was Sarah Friedland's debut movie, has written and directed this. The poster for it did not inspire. That's all I'd seen. Didn't inspire me. It was just like, it's this kind of line drawing, like a nice yellow-coloured poster of a line drawing of two people hugging, and I'm like, okay, this seems like it really isn't going to be too exciting. However, I may have jumped the gun on this. So, this is a 90-minute drama, so written and directed by Sarah Freeland in her debut. It stars Kathleen Chalfant as, and she's, you know, of stage and screen, one of those, oh, it's that lady, but you'd never, like, know her name, kind of. It's like that guy from That Thing, except it's that old lady from That Thing. No, she plays a woman in her 80s who lives alone, very much has her own sort of, like, handle on the world and does things her way, kind of thing. Only really has her son in the picture, who's, you know, a middle-aged man, played by H. John Benjamin. You know, the voice of Archer for you and me, or Bob from Bob's Burgers, depending on your animated preference. He's Archer to me. And the idea is that he can't take care of her anymore. He goes around as often as he can, but he can't look after her anymore. She's starting to cognitively deteriorate to a point where it's time to put her in a home. And he, you know, sort of gets her, under false pretenses, tells her, come on, I'm going to get in the car, I'm going to take you somewhere. Oh, I've left my coat inside, I'll be back in a minute. Comes out with her suitcase and drives her to the home, kind of thing. And she must then adjust to not only just life in the home, but also life in this retirement home, while she starts to notice, even herself, that she is starting to lose her grip on everything along the way. So I've got a clip for you. This is our lead discovering how breakfast time works in this place.
Excuse me? Excuse me? You have a chip clip in your hair.
So?
It's for preserving chips.
Why are we discussing potato chips?
Well, this feels like it's going to be a real heart warmer.
Heartbreaker more than anything
Heartbreaker,
else.
yeah, probably. That's probably better than way of putting it.
There is stuff about it that is quite heartwarming. Actually, there is like the friends she makes among the staff, for instance. I think it played very, very well. Now, I had a thought on this, which is Sarah Friedland's debut, both writing, directing. For feature context, and the way that the story is told leads you to think there has to be a biographical element to this. This does seem like it has been put together by someone who has lived experience with this, like quite clearly has had a relative in one of these places, and this is based and must be based on something like that, or at least it's someone else's story that has been shared with her. There is a lived experience to it. You know what I mean? And I think whoever had that lived experience got very lucky if this was the experience, because all the staff, for instance, are lovely. The staff are great and wonderful people, and based on my experiences, I don't really think that would statistically be the case, but, great performance, like fantastic performance from Kathleen Chalfant. Like, really great. Like, you can see her in the clip. She has this way of playing a sort of... Who was the lady who used to star... Penelope Watson used to star into The Manor Born. Do you remember on BBC? Like, she's kind of playing that kind of character. And, like, she's kind of stubborn. She's kind of crass, but in a sort of, posh way. Like, she's kind of a bit erudite, but still, wholeheartedly wrong a lot of the time. And it's very much a movie that you watch going, oh, this is about to get bad. When she starts to, oh, don't do that. Like, it's very much that kind of thing. However, I get to give it the best criticism I could possibly give a movie like this, which is, I wish there was more of it. Because it's 90 minutes long, and I was really invested. I love the relationship between Chalfant and H. John Benjamin in it. The mother-son relationship, I think, is really well done. And you feel his heartbreak at having put his mother there. I mean, I'll be really honest, I've had that conversation with my mother, and she has very strict conditions. And there are things in this movie that I'm like, I would never get away with this, kind of a thing. But I do wish that there was maybe another 15 minutes to it, because it stopped for me at a point when I was like, oh man, I was enjoying that. Like, I was into this story. It's not the most riveting, exciting movie ever. You know what I mean? It's not Dune Part 2 or anything like that. But I was like, oh, I'm in this. I'm enjoying these characters. I'm liking how they function within this setting. I love the relationships and the drama that's forming between these characters. I could have just done with 15 more minutes of it, because I feel like the film reached its crescendo and could have actually let us enjoy that crescendo for another 15 minutes. But kind of just taps out. And maybe that's for the best. That might be for the best. Maybe less is more in this case. But I think the more that we've got here is really, really good.
What's it rated at? 65?
60 what? Rotten Tomatoes?
No, I mean as in PG, 15, 18.
Oh! I thought you meant the Rotten Tomatoes.
That was meant to be a joke, and that sank.
I think because it's like kind of so nice about everything, it's only 12A actually. So you can see, I think we have the ratings on the clips now, so we can actually find these things out. But it's a 12A.
Well, Familiar Touch is out in cinemas from now if you want to go and see it. Right then, we're going en français maintenant. A movie called Nino, which I'm assuming we don't have a clip for, because I'm assuming this is subtitled.
It is subtitled, and although we now have video, we could feasibly do a subtitled clip. That's still not going to work for anyone listening to this in like old school podcast form, and that's where I, literally encounter all of my podcasts. I literally never listen to a podcast unless I'm on behind the wheel of a car. Although I made an exception last night. I actually watched, like on my phone, as I was doing the laundry dishes, I watched the Rewatchables episode about The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which is a weird experience watching them in a room. So I'm sure anyone watching this is having the same feeling. But Nino, which is the new movie written by and directed by Pauline Lacroix, and it stars Theodore Pellerin. I think Pellerin is his name. And he is Nino. He is about to turn 30 years old. He's never quite gotten over the death of his father years earlier. And prior to his 30th birthday, he finds himself diagnosed with throat cancer. Apparently due to having contracted HPV in his younger years, and that this over the years has led to him developing throat cancer. And he's going to have to undergo treatment, etc. But But before he can do that, they ask him as part of the procedure to give a sperm sample that can be put on ice. For eventualities down the road. He finds himself literally pot in pocket kind of thing, like empty pot in pocket, wandering the streets of Paris for a weekend, just kind of like meeting people, hanging out with his mates. He meets like an old school friend who's the same age as him, is now a single mum, who gives him sort of a very different view of life, and he goes and sees his mum. Again, it's about how he experiences his world through the prism of these relationships whilst dealing with both, the lingering trauma of his father's death and also the trauma of everything that's about to happen to him. And it's an interesting movie. I found it a bit slow for what it needed to be, and it reminded me a lot of, did you ever see 50-50? A while back, it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No.
It was a movie in, I think, about 2011, 2012, in which Joseph Gordon-Levitt was a young man diagnosed with cancer, dealing with it in the same kind of way, but it was done as more of a dramedy, and like Seth Rogen was his best friend. There's a famous scene where he shaves his head, which is literally the poster. This felt like that without the jokes. And no, obviously, it's a cancer movie, so obviously jokes should be the furthest thing from your mind, but there is a part of me that genuinely thought, this needed humour. This really needed some humour. I found this a bit mopey, understandably, given the subject matter. But I did think this is a bit needlessly mopey for what it needs to be. That being said, though, in spite of that mopiness, you cannot fault Theodore Pellegrin's performance, which I think is a really solid one. And I found him quite a captivating presence. I've not seen him in other things, or if I have, I've not remembered it. So I would be intrigued to actually, see more of his filmography and actually see if he's delivering the goods elsewhere as strongly as he is here. Because I think actually his performance is the strongest aspect of it. Outside of that, though, I didn't find much to really go on here. I liked the concept, I liked the performance, but the film itself left me quite cold.
Right, well, you can make your own mind up because Nino is in cinemas from right now. Right, Lesbian Space Princess, Toy Story 5. Those are the two movies we've got left, and we'll see what Van thought of Toy Story 5 next. Hello and welcome back to Off Screen then. Two more movies to look at this week with Van. We're going to look at Lesbian Space Princess, which is animated in a moment. And another movie that is also animated we're going to look at right now is Toy Story 5. I think this is the one this week that a lot of people who have kids or grandkids have been looking for. So all I know is the premise is to do with an iPad somewhere. That's about it.
Sort of. You are going to love this. You're going to absolutely love this. Right. First of all, I'm going to make a prediction for you off the bat. I told you Michael will make $1 billion. It'd be one of the highest grossing films of the year. I'm going to expand on that theory. This will be the highest grossing film of 2026. And number 2 on that chart is going to be Spider-Man Brand New Day. And number 3 is going to be Michael. Those will be the 3 highest grossing films of 2026. And if they're not in that order, it will still be those 3 films in a different order. But those will be the 3 highest grossing films of 2026, because there's not much time in December for Avengers or Dune to make that level of money. So I mark my prediction on that one. So we are back in the world of Toy Story. It has been pretty much real, but I don't know, it doesn't seem to have been real time since the last one, because Toy Story 4 was 2019. And within the world of the movie, it doesn't seem to have been 7 years, because Bonnie is relatively the same age. So Bonnie is now the toy's owner. As you know, Andy passed them over to Bonnie at the end of the 3rd movie, and then we had the 4th one where they were living in Bonnie's house, and we got other characters, and obviously Woody left. So we now have the 5th movie in which Bonnie is struggling. She's now about 9 or 10 years old. So a couple of years have passed, maybe. She's gotten to the stage where it's time to socialise. And she's struggling to mix with other kids. And one of the things that's really doing her no favours is that all of the kids, and stop me if you've heard this before, they're all obsessed with their tablets. They just sit there in a group, all of them just sat on their individual tablets. And every time she bounds up, like with her toys in hand, they're like, ugh, you still play with toys? And ignoring the fact that when she's like 35 and doing that, that should be considered like quite cool and a niche geek. But let's not go there in the Pixar world. You know what I mean? Anyway, so Bonnie's parents, who I don't know if we actually got to meet dad in the last one, but she has a dad now as well. They buy her a lily pad, as it's called, which is but you know the Amazon Kids tablet that they have that's in the sort of rubberized case? It's basically that, but it looks like a frog. You'll have seen it on the posters, and you'll see it in the clip. You won't see it in the clip, actually. However, like toys, tech is also alive. So tech does the same thing that toys do. Oh, Bonnie's coming! Fake go to sleep kind of thing. But also in the same way that the toys can control the physical parts of their, anatomy, like the voice mechanism that's inside them, stuff like that, the tech can also control its own, elements. So it can access the internet and stuff like that. So a war begins between toys and tech. Toys have basically been told at this point, this is the end of the era of toys. We're done because kids don't need us anymore. They have tech, and we will now be extinct. Bonnie, of course, sort of suckers for this, and it falls to Jessie, who's now the de facto leader of the toys, to follow Bonnie on a sleepover to try and learn what it is and try and learn what it is that's stopping all of these kids from not making friends with Bonnie. However, the lily pad has designs of its own and is setting out to thwart Jessie's plans. And in the meanwhile, you have a B-plot in which Woody, having misheard Jessie telling him all this over a radio mic that she has come back to help the toys. And he and Buzz wind up going off to rescue or /aid Jessie. Buzz also has an ulterior motive in that he wants to ask her to, I think, marry him, is actually the thing. He wants to ask Jessie to marry him. Or, I think, just be his girlfriend, but within the context of the toys, it's played as an actual fictional wedding. There is also a C-plot involving a bunch of shipwrecked smart buzzers. So Buzz Lightyear toys that look like our Buzz, but these ones connect to smartphones and each other. These have been shipwrecked, and they are setting off in search of, their home, which may or may not be leading them on a collision course with everything else going on in this movie. So I've got a clip for you. This is this is the returning hero. This is Woody making it home.
It's good to be back.
Shiny.
What?
Nothing. Love the poncho. Someone needs a brown marker.
Wow, look what Bonnie's done with the place. She really let things go.
Oh, my.
Oh. I see Sammy got bigger.
Oh, that's Sammy number 2.
No.
Yeah. I'll explain it. There was a Sammy number 1, and then he died.
Poor Samuel.
Halt! Who goes there? Whoa. Sorry. My name is Woody. I come in peace. Used to live here.
All right. It's been too long, cowboy.
I just wanted to sit and watch more of that. I mean, it's just already, what was that, 20 seconds? I'm already into it. You get what you pay for with Toy Story. You know it's going to be fun. You know it's going to be full of jokes that go over the kids' heads and whatnot. It looks great.
It's insanely sort of likable Toy Story, isn't it? It's one of those things which it would actually be really hard, I think, to make a bad Toy Story movie, because as long as you've got the original cast and the characters back, there's an innate likability that I think is always going to win out. And obviously the cast are all on top form here. I really like Greta Lee as the lily pad in this. She's a great new villain. My very favourite character, incidentally, who's a new character, is a character called Smarty Pants, who is voiced by Conan O'Brien, of all people, and is a little electronic children's toy designed to teach children potty training. So everything he does involves, toilet stuff, but it's Conan O'Brien doing it. And when his batteries are running out, it's like he's drunk. And then when they change his batteries, it's like he's on speed. It's a whole different... He has levels. It's really well done. And then they introduce, a kid's digital camera and a kid's GPS as well that are also characters. And it's quite well done. Now, first and foremost, this is Jessie's movie. So in terms of the central character, it's Jessie. Jessie is the movie. When they introduce... There's two parts to this criticism. The first is that by introducing tech into the equation, they start to open up real questions about the mechanics of how the Toy Story world works. And Toy Story worked because it didn't ask us those questions. The closest we ever got to it was in the very first movie where Buzz believes he's Buzz Lightyear. He doesn't realise he's a toy. And you didn't really want to think about it much more than that. Obviously, there's been things here and there, whether they've reset him or he's changed his language and stuff like that in the other movies. But here, there is a lot more of that sort of thinking, and it's probably something that they should shy away from. I mean, there's a reason we don't do it in the Cars universe. Like, you know what I mean? Because then you start having to ask questions like, well, yeah, but if there's a car Pope, that means there was a car Jesus, which means that there had to have been a car crucifixion, which also, and how does 9/11 work in a world where planes ascension? Anyway, you know what I mean? Like, cars asked, could have asked those questions, but you don't, because it's a kids' movie and that's not what we're here for. And Toy Story starts to ask those questions. It also then, in attempting to specifically give Jessie an origin story, seems to feel the need to overcomplicate it. Like, there was a much simpler version of what they could have done of what they've done here. And what they've done is add 2 extra steps to it that simply don't need to be there, and they make it a bit more complex and convoluted. To the extent where I was having a smoke after the movie and literally asking people, like, did that make any sense? Like, I don't get it. Was the kid's mom, asking all these questions that simply didn't need to be asked. However, despite how messy the film is, like, narratively is quite messy, it's the messiest one, it's still somehow an infinitely better movie than the 4th one. Now, just to put that in context for you, the original Toy Story trilogy, all 3 are 5-star movies, in my opinion. Toy Story 4 is a 3.5 to a 4. This is a hard 4, possibly 4.5 if you can overlook the messiness. But the charm, the likability, the humour all balances out. And, of course, there's loads of little visual gags and cameos, like the Pizza Express truck going by at a certain moment and things like oh, yeah, this is the thing. I will say as well, though, disheartening lack of aliens in this one. I did not hear the claw mentioned once. And that, for me, that's a deal breaker for me. Come on, I want my aliens, man. Those are my favourites.
Well, I mean, it's still on my list to see, and I think, it's going to always be a heartwarming, fun movie to watch with kids or grandkids, isn't it?
I did cry. I will admit to you, of course, it's a Pixar movie and it's a Toy Story movie. Of course, I cried twice towards the end. I will admit there were 2 points towards the end of this movie where I had manly tears. Not full sobbing, but there were tears, like, twice towards the end, definitely.
Well, let's make you cry. Go and see Toy Story 5 because it's in cinemas from today. Right, one last ride on the way. We're going to look at the Lesbian Space Princess movie next. We're going to see what Van thought, so stay where you are.
Introducing Taco Bell's new jalapeno citrus salsa with bright citrus, real red jalapenos, guajillo chiles. Usually, you add sauce to the food, but when the sauce is this good, the food is just there to get the sauce to your mouth. That rolled quesadilla, not a rolled quesadilla anymore. Now it's a sauce shovel. Taco Bell's jalapeno citrus salsa. Get it with any item on the Cantina chicken menu while it's here. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only. While supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Experience a membership that backs your business journey with American Express Business Platinum. Earn 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Plus, apply to find out your welcome offer, which could be as high as 300,000 membership rewards points. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Welcome offers vary, and you may not be eligible for an offer. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Hello and welcome back to Offscreen for one last ride this week then. We're going to dive into Lesbian Space Prince. Hang on, that's totally wrong.
That sounded really wrong. Yeah, we're not going to dive into...
Rewind.
It would have been really funny if you started with one last ride with a Lesbian Space Princess. Which actually... No. Given the subject of the movie, though, that kind of works because it's an animated adventure, right? It's Australian. You're going to get that the second we play the clip. It's Australian, and it is kind of an intergalactic road trip. So it is. It's a ride in the literal sense. So right. This is right. There's so much about this movie that I cannot say for broadcasting reasons because we go out on radio stations, so I can't say certain things for Ofcom, fear of Ofcom coming after us. Right. So we have a young lesbian space princess, hence the clever title, named Sarah, who breaks up with her girlfriend, the love of her life, who she's been with for 2 weeks. The joke there being that because they're 2 gay women, 2 weeks to them is an eternity. So after 2 weeks, she basically wants her to move in, kind of thing. Like, this is the level of humour the film operates on. the girlfriend breaks up with her and goes off doing space badass things, only to get captured by a race of white rectangular aliens known as the straight white Malians.
Right.
And, yeah, you see what they did there? Straight white Malians. Aliens with an M. Malians. Right. Who are basically incels and have her strung up over a vat of acid whilst they do like Andrew Tate style you know that course that Andrew Tate runs where he teaches other men to be as awful as he is? They're basically doing that and telling each other how to get girlfriends whilst the captured hostages in the background heckling them, kind of a thing. And our heroine sets off on an intergalactic journey to rescue, her would-be co-princess, as it were. I've got a clip for you. This is her about to launch one of her rescue missions with the aid of probably the best character in the movie, a chauvinist male sentient AI powering a spaceship. So her spaceship is the male voice that you will hear in this clip, and you will very quickly get the tone that this is going for.
Okay, I'll beam you over now. Do you remember how to get back?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You sound unsure. Okay, let me explain again.
Thanks so much, but I think we got it. The first 3 times you told us.
Oh, you say that now, but it can be pretty easy to get confused and mixed up, especially if you're a lady, or whatever you are, and, not used to tech stuff.
Honestly, I reckon we got this.
Just one more time. What you need to do is get out the remote beam tracker and press the big button. Oh, my life.
I mean, this just looks insane. And actually, the animation of this reminds me of something I used to watch as a kid. I can't remember what it was called, but it looks very similar.
It looks very similar to something that actually exists in the last few years. Netflix's Final Space. Have you seen this?
No, I've seen the trailer.
You've seen the trailer. The animation style is very close to that, actually. And it's got kind of, and it owes a debt, very obviously, to Rick and Morty in places as well. I don't think anyone can deny that with it. But actually, a very, very funny film. Not a great film. Like, it's not an especially good film, but it's chock full of especially good jokes. Like, really good. And most of them I cannot repeat in polite company. You know what I mean?
Like the planet they're from.
I was going to say, like the name of the planet they're from, which I actually took a picture of, because I watched this at home on a link, obviously. And I took a picture of this and sent it you. I went, this is literally the level we're working at with this one. And not even just the name of the planet, the physical look of the planet, and then the description of it put on a sign down below it is just, wow, they're really going for it on this. And it's very obviously a film that it quite prominently has been, brought to the screen by gay women who really want to lampoon the conventions of stereotypical gay-female relationships. Hence the moving in after 2 weeks kind of gag and things like that. A lesbian friend of mine famously told me the joke, what does a lesbian bring to a second date? A moving truck. Is the joke that I remember famously told. I think that one's a banger. And that's the level this movie's working on. That is literally the level the movie's working. It's going and making those gags, but it's literalizing them. It's actually giving you the full... Let's just actually do it. Rather than make the joke, let's do the joke. And I really applaud the hell out of it for that. It does genuinely feel like Netflix's Final Space went to Pride and discovered movies. And I'm down for that, because I thought this was... Even though I didn't love the movie, I had a great time watching it. I laughed a lot. So the spaceship is absolutely just the best character in it. But I kind of have to applaud the inventiveness of it. I really like the animated style. Like, you pointed that out as well. Which cartoon was it you were thinking of, by the way?
I can't remember what it was. I just remember it was one of those things I was really into. I was like 10, maybe 12, and I watched it religiously. Cannot remember the name of it, but it's just very similar animation to that, whatever it might have been.
There's also a part of me that genuinely thinks no one else but the Australians would have made this movie this way. Like, I think the fact that it's Australians making it kind of gives them some leeway to be a bit more sort of crude, in a sense. Gives them a chance to be a little bit more blunt, a little bit more crude, because they can kind of culturally get away with it more. Like, no Brit is making this movie, and certainly no American. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it works that way. But I had a good time with it, despite the fact that I don't think it's an academically good film. But I laughed a lot, enjoyed it. Is it a masterful work of cinema? No, not really. It's not even one of the best animated films you'll see this year or this decade. But I think it's definitely noteworthy. Obviously, it's been released this month because Pride Month. And I would have maybe put it out at the start of the month and given it a proper chance to get some legs to kind of, do a run up throughout the month, which I think is a shame. But I think it's quite an inventive, interesting, and quite novel film, even though not especially a great film.
Well, Lesbian Space Princess is in cinemas for you to watch from now. Who knows, next year at Pride, maybe people will be dressing up as the Lesbian Space Princess.
Would not be shocked. Genuinely would not be shocked, and I say that because the cosplayers are already coming out in obsession costumes now. So who knows with these things? And also, you get 3 interesting characters in this, for cosplayers. There's 3,
Right.
and one of them is a brown girl. They never think to include a brown girl. They actually thought to include a brown girl. So there's actual inclusivity. That never happens. So, hats off to them. They pulled a blinder on this one.
Well, it's in cinemas from now, if you want to go and see it. Let's have a quick look to next week then, Van. We have got The Last Viking to look forward to.
Yeah, this is a new comedy. I think it's a Danish comedy starring Mads Mikkelsen. And the idea is you've got I think he's a bank robber who has to stash his loot, but then has to rely on his brother to tell him where it is, but the brother's traumatized and not quite there. And the traumatized brother is Mads Mikkelsen. So you've got my money right there. I didn't even need a trailer for that. Just tell me it's Mads Mikkelsen plays a traumatized man holding the secret to a treasure. You've got my money, sir.
A Private Life next week as well.
A new Jodie Foster one. I don't know if you heard about this one. This is the Jodie Foster went and made a movie in France. And
No.
she's it's a French movie. She is speaking French in it. Evidently, she's very popular in France. And she's a psychiatrist who investigates the death of one of her patients, I believe. So I'm looking forward to that. Could be quite interesting. I've not seen Jodie Foster in a while. I don't think I've watched a Jodie Foster movie since probably Inside Man. Another one who's back next week is Bill Nye, who is the grandfather in 500 Miles, a movie about 2 British boys who kind of run away from home to go and find their Irish granddad, on the coast. Which it's Bill Nye.
I've met Bill Nye.
Have you met him? Is he nice?
Yeah, really, really nice. Down to earth. He's like your granddad. That's what he's like. That's the
what you
best
want,
way to
isn't it?
describe.
Yeah, that's what you want, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
You want Bill Nye to be exactly as awesome a sort of granddad figure as you want. One that I'm desperate to see next week, and this looks like a sort of in the style of The Raid. It's called The Furious. I'm going to the premiere for this at the Prince Charles on Saturday night with a filmmaking friend of mine. I can't wait to see this Chinese action movie about a dad setting out to rescue his kidnapped daughter. Looks horrifically brutal. Cannot wait. It just looks like it owes a debt to The Raid, which, again, you've got my money, sir. And last, but certainly by no means least,
we get to see Millie Alcock.
You see, is it Alcock or Alcock? I can never remember on that. Is she 1 L or 2 in Millie Alcock?
I think it's 1 L.
You think it's 1? She's Alcock, then we'll say. But yes, Australian actress Millie Alcock is the second Kryptonian to join the DCU, as it's now called. Supergirl is upon us next week. I've still not read the book. I've now got, I think, 3 days to read the book Supergirl, Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow, I think it's called, which the film is specifically based on. I hear really good things about this, and I am actually looking forward to it. I was huge into Superman last year, as you remember. Still got the little necklace somewhere around here. And, bring me more Crypto. That's all. I want more Crypto the Superdog, man. That's all I'm in this for.
I'm very glad I said Supergirl and kind of guessed, because I think I need new glasses. I read it as Superglue at first, and that would be one hell of a movie.
Well, put it this way, they've
not.
included Crypto the Superdog, and I'm glad because he won't be the only one barking in that movie, because have you seen her in that suit? Damn!
That's the one I'm really looking forward to hearing you from you even next week, Supergirl. But we'll see what all of those are like when we catch up again next week. That is, of course, all we have time for this week on Off Screen. We will return next week. Until then, I've been Adam Ball.
I've been Van Connor. Keep it cinematic, and we shall return.